His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Goswami ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Radha Kund Sham Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Kshetra ki jai. Shri Shri Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Sharad Bihari. Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshan. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. Okay, this page cannot be displayed. This is Canto 1. Chapter 8, verse 31. So these are the prayers of Queen Kunti, and you all can repeat after me. Gope adade tvai kretagasi damatavan. Gope adade tvai kretagasi damatavan. Yate dashashru kalilanjana. Yate dashashru Kalilanjana Samramaksham Vatram Niniya Bhayabhavanaya Vatram Niniya Bhayabhavanaya Stetasya Sama Vimohati Bhirapi Yad Bibeti Stita Samam Vimohati Bir Apiyat Bibeti. I'll read it and then again you all can recite it. Gopadadi Tvai Kritakasya Tamatava Yate Dashashru Kalilanjana Samramaksham Vatram Niniya Bhayabhavanaya Stitasya Samam Vimohati Bhirapiyat Bibeti. Prabhuji's.
Gopi Adhade Tvai Kritagasi Damatavat.
Gopi Adhade Tvai Kritagasi Damatavat.
Yete Dashashu Kalilanjana Samramaksham.
Yete Dashashru Kalilanjana Samaksham.
Vatram Niniya Bhayabhavanaya Stitasya.
Vatram Niniya Bhayabhavanaya Stitasya
Samam Vimohati Bhirapiyad Bibeti.
Samam Vimohati Bhirapiyat Bibeti.
Gopyadadevai Kritagasitam Tavat.
Gopadadevai Kritagasi Damatavat.
Yate Dashashu Kalilanjana Sambramaksham.
Yate Dashashru Kalilanjana
गोपी आददे त्वयि कृतासि दामदाव
गोप्याददे त्वयि कृतकासि दामदाव
या ते दशाश्रु कलिलञ्जन सम्प्रमाक्षम्
या ते दशाश्रु कलिलाञ्जनसम्भ्रमाक्षम्
वक्त्रं निनीय भयभवानयस्ति तस्य
वक्त्रं निनीय भयभावनाय स्थितस्य
स मां विमोहयति वीरपि यद्बिभेति
समां विमोहति वीरपि यद्विवेति. So we'll read the word by word translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat after me. Gopi, the cowherd lady Yashoda, Adade, took up, Tvai, on your, Kritagasi, creating disturbances by breaking the butter pot. Dama, rope. Tavat, at that time. Ya, that which. Te, your. Dasa, it's dasha. Situation. Ashru Kalila, overflooded with tears. Anjana, ointment. Sambrama, perturbed. Aksham, eyes. Vaktram, face. Niniya, downwards. Bhaya Bhavanaya, by the thoughts of fear. Sthitasya, of the situation. Sa, that. Mam, may. Vimohati, bewilders. Be api, even fear personified. Yat, whom. Bibeti, is afraid. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Please repeat after me. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Purport by His Divine Grace, Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Here is another example, here is another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the supreme and at the same time a plaything, in the presence of his pure devotee. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only, and while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotees more relishably when the service is rendered spontaneously out of pure affection, without anything of reverential admiration. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by the devotees in a reverential attitude. But the Lord is meticulously pleased when the devotee, out of pure affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. The Lord's pastimes in the original abode of Goloka Vrindavan are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna consider him one of them. They do not consider him to be of reverential importance. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisements of the parents more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more palatably than the Vedic hymns. When Lord Krishna was present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental realm of Goloka Vrindavan as an attraction for the people in general, he displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother Yashoda. The Lord, in his naturally childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stocked butter of Mother Yashoda by breaking the pots and distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, including the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan, who took advantage of the Lord's munificence. Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of her pure love, she wanted to make a show of punishment for her transcendental child. She took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as is generally done in the ordinary household. Seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep just like a child, and tears rolled down his cheeks, washing off the black ointment smeared about his beautiful eyes. This picture of the Lord is adorned by Kunti Devi because she is conscious of the Lord's supreme position. He is feared often by fear personified, yet he is afraid of his mother, who wanted to punish him just in an ordinary manner. Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Yashoda was not. Therefore, Yashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti's. Mother Yashoda got the glimpse of the exalted position of the Lord. She would certainly have hesitated to punish the Lord, but she was made to forget this situation because the Lord wanted to make a complete gesture of childishness before the affectionate Yashoda. This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way, and Kunti, remembering the scene, was bewildered, and she could do nothing but praise the transcendental maternal love. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position of love, for she could control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visham Vitam Chavaneshwari Tishavanu Sate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Tinamine Namacharya Padaya Nithai Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagragramatarane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we read such a beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada, and today is Mother's Day, and which is why I'm speaking today. And although I'm not a mother and I'm also not qualified to speak, not only because I'm not a mother, but even other accept it. I hope you all will accept it. The other thing is that once one devotee told me in Mayapur that all this Mother's Day and Father's Day and all this is all a gimmick. It's by this Archies and Hallmark and these people, they just want you all to buy flowers, and they want you all to they want to sell their cards and gifts and all that, which is why they invented all these days. But this is not as per scriptures. And to an extent I agree, but I also believe that there should be Mother's Day and Father's Day. So he said, according to Vedic scriptures, you're supposed to make your parents feel special and acknowledge what they've done for you every day, every time, every moment. So he said that you're supposed to, according to Vedic scriptures, children in olden days, they were actually trained in a way that they would rise early in the morning and they would touch the feet of their father and of their mother and of their grandparents and all the elders in their house. And in every situation in their life, like throughout the day, there were times when they wanted to do something and the parents wanted them to do something else. So they would remember that, no, okay, she's my mother, so I have to listen to her. And this continued throughout their life. So now I agreed with that part of it. So I think I told him that I'll go with both. I'll go with the Mother's Day gimmick, and I also agree with you. Because I believe that children should be trained in a way that they accept authority. And they should be trained in a way, they should be taught that this is your mother, she's done this and this for you. This is your father, he's done this and this for you. And out of your gratitude, you must worship them and must respect them and must obey them. And it's not just the parents, but it's all the elders. And if this quality is in the teacher, and then when the child gets a spiritual master, the child has that same mood with the spiritual master. The child naturally grows up to believe that, okay, if I have accepted so and so as my guru, I obey him, I follow his instructions, I respect him, I surrender to him. And naturally a child like this becomes what can I say, a beneficial source of inspiration to society. So, coming back to Mother's Day, I would wish all of you a very happy Mother's Day. And I think that every mother is very special just because they are a mother. But mothers like you all are all the more special. You all are extra special. Because not only did you all get pregnant, go through the process of pregnancy, the difficulties that happen during pregnancy, childbirth, which we all know to be an awful, painful experience, and then that's just the beginning. Because the reality starts after that. The real drama, so to say, starts after that. And then you have to feed your child, and then as your child grows up, that's another big challenge, because you have to raise the child in a way that the child is not a pain to society, in a way that the child benefits society. And then you have to think about the child's well-being. The child needs to be educated, the child needs to be healthy, the child needs to be a devotee. There's so much. So actually Srila Prabhupada says that the highest service parents can do is raise children in Krishna consciousness, is give the society devotee children. And as mothers, you all are sitting over here. There's so many times when mothers have told me, I'm so tired throughout the week. Weekdays just go off, and then the weekends, we have so much of household work to do, and you all could just be sitting at home and relaxing. But you all came here to the temple, and why did you all come here? Because you yourselves want to be a devotee. Why? Because you want to be a source of inspiration to your child. And so many times mothers have told me that, we came just for the child, because, we wanted the child to attend Sunday school. We wanted the child to associate with devotee children. We wanted the child to see the Lord. We wanted the child to eat prasad. So there's so much that a devotee mother does. A mother usually does so much, usually. But you all are extra special because you all are trying to free your children from the cycle of birth, death, disease and old age, which is such a huge, big responsibility, such a big challenge. And in our scriptures it says that you can't be a mother, you should not be a mother unless you're capable of delivering the child from the clutches of birth, death, disease and old age. So you all are here with that hope, with that incentive. And the other thing is, we always talk about pregnancy, we always talk about, the mother went through this, the mother went through that, but nobody talks about the child. Imagine Srimad Bhagavatam. If we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll know what a child goes through. One of my friends, she had a baby, and another friend, she was saying that, she's only talking about all the things that she went through, but imagine what the baby went through, because the umbilical cord went around the baby's neck, and the baby was going to die of suffocation. So imagine that's just one part of it, but imagine overall what the baby goes through. The baby goes through so much. Imagine life inside a womb. And I've actually seen Karmi YouTube videos on life inside a womb. So that means it's scientifically proven that a child feels, a child is conscious inside the womb. And imagine how much it suffers. So here these mothers are all sitting here. It's not only, I'm sure, like every mother would say, please bless my child, please bless my child. But bless your child with what? Every mother will want that everything good should happen in the life of my child. My child should be healthy. My child should not suffer. My child should be happy. But devotee mothers are extra special because devotee mothers are not just worried about the life of a child, but they are worried about lifetimes of a child. They are worried about the time of death of that child. That will that child enter another womb? Will that child suffer again? Will that child, it says that a child is hung upside down with its hands crossed. Will my child go through that again? I hope not. So with that mood, the mother starts her own initiative of trying to make the child a devotee, of trying to be a devotee herself, of giving the child that environment where the child can happily, blissfully and peacefully practice Krishna consciousness. When we read this purport, we can actually understand, imagine Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And why do you think he, went and broke the pots? I was just hearing a lecture this morning where they were actually describing exactly what happened. That Yashoda Maya was breastfeeding her child, and she was just thinking, she had been thinking since a couple of days that, Krishna's, I'm just so sick of these complaints that Krishna goes around, stealing everyone's milk and butter and yogurt. That means there's something wrong with our milk. So maybe I should, see what's wrong. I will milk the cows. I will boil the milk. And I will take the milk out of the most special cow. And I will boil that milk. And I will, make butter and yogurt and everything. And she was thinking like this, and she put the milk for boiling, and she came to breastfeed Krishna. And you know what the milk thought? The milk was so humble. So the milk was like, what is the use of my milk in front of Yashoda Maya's milk? She's the purest of the pure devotee. She's got Krishna as her son. So what is the purpose of my life? Why would she want my milk? So I may as well commit suicide. So it actually overboiled, and it decided to jump into the fire. And that's the story about why the milk overboiled. And then Yashoda Maya comes and she gets that burnt smell. So she just puts her child aside. And she comes to see the milk. And what does the child do? The child goes and breaks all the butter pots and all the yogurt pots, and then he runs away with all that, whatever he could fit in his hand. And then she sees the footprints, and then she knows, this is Krishna. He's done it to me now. And she's like, okay, now I'm not going to forgive him. And then she follows the footprints. And she goes, and what does she see? She sees that Krishna is busy feeding the monkeys. And we all know that why he's feeding the monkeys, because he's grateful to the favor that they showed him in Ramlila. So he's feeding the monkeys, and then she catches hold of Krishna. She doesn't catch hold of him. He sees her shadow, and then he turns, and then he sees her with her stick. So he starts running, and he's crying, and he's running, and she's running behind him, and then he starts crying. So then she tells him, why are you crying? So he says, first put that stick down. and she, out of her motherly affection, most of the times mummies become weak, right? So she throws the stick away, and then she feels bad. And then she finally catches hold of it. When people complain about their child, I mean, I'm sure, after going through that whole process of giving birth and raising your child, the last thing that you want is someone come and tell you how bad your child is. Nobody wants that. So obviously, as a mother, she hated it. So she said, today I'm going to bind you, today I'm going to teach you a lesson. So she binds him, and we all know the 2 fingers less, with great difficulty she binds him. And when she's actually running behind Krishna with a stick, what happens is, that's at that point, everyone's like, when I say everyone, it's not just the servants or whoever witnessed that, but everyone, as in the flowers that were on Yashoda Maya's hair, everyone, all the 3 worlds, they're like, he's the Supreme Lord, he's fear personified, and she's running behind him. How many of us would run behind fear? None of us would, right? But he's fear personified, and she's running behind him. And he's afraid of her, and he's running away from her in fear. And he's crying out of fear. And, everyone was like all attention. They're trying to witness the scene. And the flowers from Yashoda Maya's hair are actually falling down. They are actually offering obeisances to her out of respect, out of worship. They're falling down and touching her feet because she's so glorious that she's enacting this beautiful pastime with the Supreme Lord. And then finally she binds him, right? And then we know that Krishna's thinking that I have such important work to do. I have to feed the monkeys, I have to play with my friends, and what am I doing here just bound like this? And then he tries to tell his friends, come and unbind me. And then they can't, because they're not in Vatsalya Bhav, they're his friends. So they don't have that maternal affection. So then he says, you guys are just useless. And then he tries to go between the trees, and then, we all know the Damodar Leela. So what we really understand from this is that a child, imagine he's a Supreme Lord, but a child needs so much attention. A child wants the mother to make him or her feel like the child is the most important being in the planet and the only being in the planet for the mother, right? So that's how, and the reason why Krishna enacted this whole pastime, because he felt neglected, something that we should never ever make our children feel. As mothers, Srila Prabhupada says that child worship is most important, even more important than deity worship. Because if we love our children, if we make them feel important, if we make them feel loved, if we make them feel cared for, then they will care to think about what we want. It's natural, right? Even with us, like if it's 2 friends, or say a husband and wife, or say with our siblings, if one of them do something for us, we're immediately like, okay, this person likes this, so let me do this. So that's the feeling that the child will start having, and out of love and reciprocation for the mother, the child will do what the mother likes the child to do. So that's so important for a mother to, it's important and it's also impossible in one sense. According to me, it's impossible, but even if it's impossible, Krishna's made woman to do that which is impossible. So I'm sure, although this is like a mission that's impossible, to be a daughter, to be a wife, a daughter-in-law, a mother, a sibling, and then make your child feel like he or she is the most important and there's no one more important than the child. It's impossible, but women are, it's an inbuilt quality of a woman to just multitask and make everyone feel the way they should feel. So I'm sure each woman has this quality. I'm sure every mother has this quality. She knows exactly how to be a wife, how to be a mother, how to be a daughter-in-law, how to give a situation to your child where your child can practice Krishna consciousness peacefully. That's the most important thing, especially these days. In Kali Yuga, children have so much of pressure from their school and studies and friends and competition, and there's so much that they go through. But If a mother at home becomes, what can I say? It says, I read somewhere, it says that she should be that glue that holds the family together. So if she can be that source where, she maintains peace in the house, she maintains love in the house, where everything is emotionally soothing and comforting in the house, the child can very easily advance in Krishna consciousness. So I actually want to read this very sweet thing that I read about Gaur Govind Maharaj. For most of you who do not know Gaur Govind Maharaj is a disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and he's a very, very special soul. He appeared in the land of Orissa, and he's such an amazing soul that actually his mother had this desire that she wanted her son to be a devotee of Srimad Bhagavatam. That was her desire. And Krishna fulfilled her desire out of her service to her husband, to her in-laws, and to Krishna himself. He fulfilled this desire because when he was a child, every time he would cry, she would give him Bhagavatam and he would stop crying. And he was so absorbed in giving Bhagavatam classes. Once he was giving Bhagavatam class like this, and he gave the whole class, and then he got up. The minute he got up, a dead snake fell from his lap. Can we imagine that's the kind of mood he had? When he would give class, he would be so absorbed that he didn't even realize when a snake crawled into his lap, when that snake died in his lap, and when he got up, the snake just fell. Actually, it was not a dead snake. I think it was a live snake, because they said that after he got up, the snake fell. It was sleeping. It slept in his lap, and then it fell, and then it crawled away. So they were saying that when the snake crawled away, it was crawling away, and it was like never ending. Because that's how big and fat the snake was. And he didn't even know when a snake fell in his lap. That's how absorbed he used to be. So he glorifies his mother. And I believe that this is the way every Vedic woman, every woman who's trying to follow Vedic scriptures should follow, or should try to follow this lady. Her name was Pata Devi. Okay, and she was very, very devoted to Gopal. From her childhood, she would come to see Gopal every day. Every morning, she would sweep Gopal's temple, make garlands and cook for him. Pata Devi married Ishwara Manik from the nearby village of Jagannathpur. Like the Giri family, Ishwara Manik was also in the business of selling metal. Ishwara and Pata had two sons named Braja Bandhu and Kripa Sindhu, and one daughter named Swadhuri Devi. Their eldest son, Braja Bandhu, born on 2nd September 1929, was later known as Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj. So it says here, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but some of this. He says that his mother used to be immediately. But Prabhupada says no, first she has to be a good wife, and then she can be a mother. So I think it's very important for a mother to also be a good wife, because if she's a good wife, then there's peace, there's happiness at home. The child feels like it has a family. No child would like to just be alone, right? None of us would like to be alone. So I think it's not just the mother's responsibility to give birth to a child or to take care of the child, but also to see that the child has a home, the child has a father who's happy, who's loved enough to be a good father to the child. The child has grandparents, the child has siblings, the child has cousins, the child has family, a big family, the child has relatives, and of course the child has friends. So it's very difficult, easier said than done, it's very difficult, but I'm sure if we follow in the footsteps of these ladies, it'll be very easy for us to also be a Vedic woman. And why do we have to be a Vedic woman? We have to be a Vedic woman because we are endeavoring to serve Krishna. What is the purpose? Why are we all sitting here? We are all sitting here because we want to serve Krishna. We want to get devotional service at Krishna's lotus feet. And how is that going to be possible if we don't stop the process of karma? If we don't stop the process, the action-reaction process. Once I heard a lecture by Radhanath Maharaj where he said that sometimes if someone's going in a bus and someone slaps you, you have two options. Either you slap them back and you slap them 10 times as much, you beat them up, or you just keep quiet. You just understand that it is your karma coming to you. So if you just keep quiet, you stop the process of action-reaction. But if you act, then again you're getting stuck. It's a web. We are all stuck in that web. It's, you know, the whole concept of karma. It is so complicated. It's just like a knot, many knots knotted together. And with the process of devotional service, we are actually cutting those knots of karma. And the way we can come out of that is by following scriptures. And scriptures say that a woman has to be humble, a woman has to be submissive, a woman has to be tolerant. And then someone would say that how long? We just go on like this and there's so much that we put up with. Yes, we put up with so much. But with tolerance, what happens is we are paying for our karma. We are finishing it off. So if we finish off our karma, then we have goodies waiting for us. But if we just, get stuck, okay, you said this to me, so I'll say 10 more things to you. And you said 20 things to me, so I'll say 40 things to you. And then we're just getting more and more bound. But if you say 10 things to me and I keep quiet, I pray for you, I beg the Supreme Lord to help me in these situations, then I'm coming out of that karma, I'm coming out of the process, the action-reaction process. So here I want to end with this thing I read about Srila Prabhupada's sister. Prabhupada's sister Pishima is the example of an abused woman who succeeded in rectifying her husband's bad habits. Srila Prabhupada has related several stories about his dear sister Pishima, which means the father, sister or maternal auntie, to Jayapataka Maharaj and others. Srila Prabhupada indicated that his sister married a man who turned out to be a rogue debauchee, a woman hunter, drunkard, and a meat eater. Pishima asked Prabhupada, what shall I do? What would any of us say? Walk out of the marriage, go and earn, be independent. Prabhupada never said that, because if she did that, she wouldn't finish her karma. She would have to come back to go through her karma. Prabhupada, knowing spiritual knowledge, never said that. He said, she asked him, how can I stop him? How can I stop him from leading a sinful life? Prabhupada gifted her his personal deities that they both worshipped when they were children. He advised her to worship Radha Govinda deities and pray to them for their mercy for your husband, and they will help you. Pishima accepted deities and worshipped them reverently with devotion and love. She followed Krishna consciousness by accepting initiation from Prabhupada's guru. She never left her husband. Prabhupada commented that Pishima even cooked meat for him just to keep peace in the family. She never ate meat, as she never ate anything that her deities would not accept as an offering. Pishima prayed fervently to her Radha Govinda deities for years, please save my husband, save me from going through this. After many years, Pishima's husband changed his lifestyle. He became a devotee by the steady influence of his submissive wife, who was an elevated devotee worthy of his utmost respect. Her husband understood by years of observation that his wife was constantly faithful to him and praying for him despite his dalliances while reverently serving her deities. Her example of pure devotion eventually melted his hard heart and prompted him to become a respectful, good husband. So this is the only way. I think this is the only way. There's no other way. In Shikshashtakam we read the 3rd verse, and I think that is the only way. If we are going to retaliate, it's not just husband and wife. I think as women, it can be at work, it can be with our children, it can be with our friends, with devotees. In every sense, the more we retaliate, the more we fight, protest, and the more we give back, the more we are getting stuck. The more we quietly tolerate, pray for that person, and behave in a way that the person feels respected, cared for, honored, the more we are coming out of this process of karma. Please forgive me if I have said anything wrong. Please feel free to correct or ask any questions if you would like.
I learned a new thing about this karma, stay within the karma and work out your karma instead of looking at the negative aspect. So that is a new enlightenment for me. I think that sounds more favorable than, oh, I'm going to do something, I'm going to be a better person, tit for tat or whatever.
Or running away from it.
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah. The more we run away from it, karma is going to follow us. Actually, one of my friends, she was saying that she got married and she had a very bad marriage. So she walked out and she started working. And karma followed her. She got tortured by her boss. She got tortured by her friends. So finally she just surrendered and she became a devotee. And after that everything became okay.
Mataji, where did you get this reference?
I'll send it to you. I got the Pishima story or the karmas.
Karma and Pishima.
Okay, I'll send both to you. Karmas I heard in Maharaj's lecture and Pishimas I'll send it to you. So I'll send both to you.
Very nice.
Any more questions? Comments? Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for giving us a wonderful class, and please give it again and again.
I'm very embarrassed to speak in front of you, Mataji.
You did an excellent job, and I really feel proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I learned a lot of things in this lecture, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very nice job.
Any questions?
I want to hear you for long, more and more.
Very nice.
So we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah, thank you, Ratipriya Devinasi. Actually, it was an idea that we are thankful that His Grace Kaivalya Prabhu and Vikukshi Mataji came up with. Today, Kaivalya Prabhu was supposed to give the class. So, Vikukshi Mataji suggested that today being Mother's Day, let's have some Matajis speak. And so we came up with this idea of all mothers doing kirtan, katha, and also aarti. So we should thank Kaivalya Prabhu and Vikruti Mataji for their plans. So thank you all again for coming to this evening's program. We have few announcements, beginning with our Sunday feast. So we have a sponsor for this evening Sunday feast who would like to remain anonymous. So let us thank our Sunday feast anonymous sponsor by asking for blessings by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if any of you in future would like to become one of our Sunday feast sponsors, you can do so by visiting our Congregation Development Office. So today's Sunday feast was cooked by Balaram Seva team led by Ramcharan Prabhu and Revati Mataji. Let us thank them. As Dronacharya Prabhu was mentioning a couple of weeks back, these sevas actually they take so much effort, and just by saying 2 lines here may not really give you an idea of what goes actually to put these things together. It's actually heartfelt surrender and service from devotees. Sunday feast, it takes a lot of people to plan, coordinate, come here early in the day, put their time, energy, creativity, and make something that's offered to the Lord, and it's ready for us when we are here. So it's a great service, it's a great, wonderful way to spend the day for those that come here early to cook, and also for those of us who come here to honor the prasadam. So if you are free on Sundays, it's a wonderful way of spending the time. You should consider coming Sundays early in the afternoon to help these Sunday teams that are cooking, making preparations for the prasadam. Same goes with the flower gardens. I think a couple of weeks back, Dronacharya Prabhu actually talked about this. The beautiful flower garlands that you see here, we have a team of that actually every day not have an idea of how much time it's going to take to put these garlands. It takes about 3 to 6 hours depending on the complexity and the creativity that these Matajis put in to put these flower garlands together. So it's an enormous amount of work. At the same time, it is an enormous amount of advancement that we are making by offering our time and energy for Krishna. So if you know who these Matajis are, or if you get to see some of these Matajis, or if you yourself are interested in actually helping with this garland service, you should take up. You can either see me or Dronacharya Prabhu, or any of the Matajis that actually, if you know, that are making these flower garlands, please consider giving some of your time to making these services come through. Some of the upcoming events: this Tuesday 14th is Ekadashi, we fast from grains and beans. May 17th, which is the coming Friday, is the appearance of Lord Sri Nrsingadev. So we have a festival, and actually the flyers are ready. So this is what the flyer looks like. If you are interested, there are some flyers on the table outside. Feel free to take them, put it up in the local stores, or put it up in places where people can get to know about these events and invite them personally. So the program starts at 5 o'clock, will go on till 8 o'clock, and then there is Ekadashi Prasadam that's served at 8 o'clock. And also, it being the appearance day of Lord, as with any appearance of the day of the Lord, we fast, and for Narsingha Chaturdashi, the preferred fasting is till dusk, till the dusk time. So keep that in mind. June 7th is a Friday again. we have a program schedule. One of the well-known brahmacharis in ISKCON in India from Chowpatty Temple is Grace Gauranga Prabhu. He is actually a graduate from IIT Mumbai. Is that correct, Pratik Prabhu? Mumbai? Yeah. So, very wonderful preacher. He actually, it's not easy to get him to come to the temple. It's very difficult again to get his association. Luckily, again through the contact of Kaivalya Prabhu, we are able to have Gauranga Prabhu come here. The program will begin at 6:30. Again, it's June 7th. It's a Friday evening. I ask all of you if you can make it. It will be a wonderful time to spend with this Vaishnava. So the week after that, June 15th, is the Sunday of June 15th is actually the Sunday School Awards ceremony. So please mark your calendar for that. One more announcement from CPT. So we have a child protection team here, and we have made these announcements multiple times. So just to make sure that again people keep hearing this and then follow this. Children under 12 years cannot be left unattended. They have to be supervised all the time. So please remember to watch over your children if they are under 12 years. At this time, we have an announcement from Vamandev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I believe this has been announced a couple times, but next Sunday, May 19th, will be the opening of the Prabhupada Leela Wall. If you're not sure what that is the wall that's behind where right there Sridhar now sells his goods, his prashadam. That wall and the wall around going into the temple will be all pictures of Prabhupada from his childhood through his coming to the West to preach. So that'll be at about 5:15 next week. So we hope everybody will be here to attend that, and then the pictures will be there as part of the decoration for the temple. Also, I'd like to say Giriraj Swami is scheduled to be here on May 28th, so that's the day after Memorial Day. So right now he's scheduled to be here that evening to give class. So hopefully everyone can attend Giriraj Swami's class. It's not sure whether he'll be here on the 27th. His plane comes in the evening, so it depends on what time his plane comes in. We'll know for sure later on. He may be here Memorial Day evening, but for sure right now he's scheduled to be here on the 28th, which is the Tuesday after Memorial Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Anante Prabhu. And for those who haven't heard of Giriraj Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj is one of the early disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj spent a lot of time with Srila Prabhupada on the Juhu temple preparations, and Maharaj spends a lot of time in India now. One of the wonderful sannyasis that you see in ISKCON, and again with the lot of other, just as the other cases, it's very rare to get association of Giriraj Maharaj. So I really request all of you to make use of all these wonderful opportunities. So the last one before we go, we have a japa session starting at 6:30, 15 minutes. You can come back after prasadam, and we will have a japa session from 6:30 to 6:45, and then 6:45 there will be another round of arati. So thank you all again for coming. We'll again meet at 6:30.